Hey everybody, it's Mike here, and today we're going to talk about how and why, and also how often to sharpen your mower blade. So the first easy question is going to be, how often should I service it? And that is an easy question. I would say once a month, you definitely want to make sure you have a nice, sharp, clean blade. And if not once a month, definitely once every other month. You don't want to wait until the next season to change it or to service it. And reason being is because for two things. So a lot of people, once they cut their lawn, they're like, oh, how come once I cut it, it gets so brown? You know, it was so green, and now it's all brown once I cut it. And the reason it looks more brown is because of the fact that they have a dull blade. So if they have a dull blade, it's going to leave a lot more brown on the top of each blade of grass. And imagine if you have, you know, million blades of grass in the ground and it's all brown on top, you know, of course it's going to look more brown. So you definitely want to limit the amount of brown that you see on top and, you know, and have a nice sharp blade. And another reason why you want to have a nice sharp blade, reason number two, is because if you don't have a nice clean cut on top, what it does is it's going to rip. So you will have a larger brown spot on top. So it's not going to be a real thin spot. It's going to be larger. And because of that, when it rips or tears, it doesn't make the clean cut, and when it tears, it also opens it up for a lot of diseases and stuff like that, which you don't want. You don't want infections in your lawn. You want to just steer clear away from any of that. You know, once you have it, sometimes it's hard to get away. But so best way to prevent that is just to have a nice, clean mower, sharp mower blade.
So I am definitely a visual type of guy. Therefore, here's some visualizations for knowing what your grass should look like after you cut it. So this is my grass after I cut it, and notice how it's got a nice clean, no brown top to it. And here I'll even put it down so you can see how perfect this is. So very little brown on top, just a nice clean cut. And then I'm going to compare it to some of my neighbors. And this is what you see. So you see how it's just split here, and see how much more brown on top there is. And here's a few other samples here from other neighbors. See how much brown you have on top of these and splitting? You definitely do not want this in your lawn. You want, ideally, to be a nice clean cut like this. How to sharpen your mower blade, and this is something you should be doing pretty frequently. So here I just propped it up using some kind of weight on the end, and you don't want to flip it on its side, because if you put it on the wrong side, the gas can go lead into the carburetor. Could be a lot of problems. So you want to prop it up this way. And let's take out the mower blade. So the best way I like to do it is I like to stick a 2x4 through the side discharge here, and then figure out a way where it will stop the blade from turning. And then I'll use an adjustable wrench and take off the bolt. So let's get a good position right here. And this is now not going anywhere, no matter how hard I turn. Okay, starting to come. And now we can do the rest by hand. And if you want to be even safer, you can take the cap off the spark plug just to make sure that it does not start off or something. That's what they recommend doing, I believe, according to Toro. But I mean, nobody can pull the thing down there. So I don't think you can really start up. But safety first, everybody, safety first. All right, so there we are. So we take this out, remember which way it went on. So it's set on flush. Don't want to put it upside down. This is not right. This is how you want it. And we can just leave that bolt there. And now we're going to walk over here and sharpen the blade. As you can tell, this is a pretty sharp blade already. both sides of this are pretty sharp. So not really much to do with this one. This is a brand new blade. I only used it like maybe 2 or 3 times, so there shouldn't be any dings in it. But I'll show you my other one where I do have some issues. Okay, everybody. So this is the old mower blade that I have. You can see this. This is not. Okay, everyone. So you can see this is the mower blade that I have now. And you see this gouge right there? So these are the types of gouges that you do not want. So these are likely because of the fact that you know, hit a rock, you know, hit something that shouldn't be. You hit something other than grass. So we want to file it down now. So let's use our metal file. So just pick up one of these, a flat file, like they could call it a diamond file, and then you want to go with the grain here. So, and you want to keep the edge, you want to keep the same angle that's already on the lawnmower blade. So you don't want to run it across the top or run it straight up and down. You want to keep the same angle that's already there. So I like to go just straight across and do it as many times as you need to until you don't have any burrs on the top. The burrs are those sharp things that cut you. You know, if you run your hand across the top, those are the little parts that are not true to the blade. They are basically, they call them burrs. So I'll do the other side a little bit. Mostly I focus on the front though, just to get up the burrs. And then, as you saw that gouge on the other side, so that will take a while to go away. So, but this is the same process you're gonna do. So I recommend doing this. You know, you can also go up and down, but you know, if you have a real bad spot, you have to get out. But then afterwards, I would smooth it all out like this. This makes it all even the whole way. So I've only got a little spot here left that I have to get out on this side, and then I go and work on the harder side. But you can pretty much get out, you know, as much as you need to. So even though that side is really damaged, really low, that's a bad gouge. So what I do is I have an extra blade that I use in case, okay, something like that, and it's gonna take a while to file down. But so you could buy a new blade for, I think it's like 20 bucks or so. So I like to have one spare blade so that I don't either. So if I get lazy and I didn't sharpen one and instead of the other, so I can just go and use a sharp blade, and then once I'm done mowing the grass, then I can come in and sharpen it on my free time whenever I have free time. All right, now this side's pretty good here. And then afterwards, at the end, let's say, because this side is gonna take a lot because of this big gouge here. So I'm gonna be taking off a lot of metal on this side. So what you wanna do is you wanna get a piece of, like I like to use a nail. So let's just use a nail here. Stick it in the vise. And what I like to do is put the nail right in the middle hole here. So this will tell you if your blade is balanced. You should not see any spinning going on. If this spins, then you have a problem here. So this is what it looks like from the other side. So here's the nail here, and you can tell this is pretty level here. So I'm pretty happy with that.